Hi, everyone, and welcome to our weekly activity series. Today, we've got a great guest. We're going to talk about handwriting, and I know this is such a big topic in here. We talk about handwriting a lot, how to introduce letters through play and beginning reading skills. But as our kids get a little bit older, 3, 4, and pre-kindergarten, a lot of people are thinking about writing and actually handwriting, especially their names and what they need to know before they get to kindergarten. So Megan is here from this really neat website called Make Handwriting Fun, right?
Yep.
And she's going to teach us how to make handwriting fun, which is what we all want to do. We want it to be fun and exciting. And I have a couple alphabet games to show you in the middle for the kids that aren't quite ready for handwriting. But I thought maybe we'd start with Megan, if you want to introduce yourself and then show us how to make handwriting fun.
Great. All right. So I'm Megan Carl Musa, and I have my master's in special education. I'm a special education teacher. And I also have 6 children. The oldest is 14 and the youngest is 3. So they were sort of the inspiration for my making handwriting fun. And you'll get to see some of their work in a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
yeah.
And so your handwriting, what age range is it for typically?
Um, Definitely. I mean, you could go as young as like 2, and on up, probably through kindergarten or first grade.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I know there's some preschool teachers in here who are thinking about other ways to teach letters if they're not quite ready to do those. And so some of you guys know, well, I have the 2 games. Some of you guys know, I wrote the book, Sammy Chases the Alphabet. I don't know if you know that, Megan, but
Yes, I do. Yeah.
one of my books, and it teaches the letters through play, but also there's a game you could make with it by putting the letters on the balls and playing chase like at circle time or outside, and the kids can identify letters. So if they're still kind of in that developmental stage where you're identifying letters and matching, this is a good place to start for like a circle time. And then if you want more of a sensory type activity, this is just sand. You can use anything like Play-Doh.
You can use salt. Yeah.
Salt I had a parent use toothpaste once because they didn't have any other liquid, and they just toothpaste, which I thought, what a great idea, but you just write the letter on the card. This is the letter B, and then the kids can practice making that letter with their finger in the sand or whatever kind of sensory activity that you have. So those are the 2 for if they're not even really into the holding the pencils, they're still trying to get that grasp and develop their fine motor skills. So those are those pre handwriting. But then once you're ready to do handwriting, that's where Megan comes in to show us how exactly we do that. So I know, Megan, you have a PowerPoint.
Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and should I share it?
Yeah, so I can get that. Oops, I can get that up. Let's see. And then if you want to add that in, you can add that. Perfect. And there we go. Perfect. So if you want to play that, and we can look through that and see how that works.
All right. Yeah, I thought I'd make a PowerPoint so that you can visually see what I'm saying. It just makes it a little bit easier to follow, I guess. So, you may have seen a child like this, not really excited about writing, maybe a little bit frustrated. He doesn't know how to hold the pencil, or when he's writing, he's starting to write from the bottom, which usually when you draw a letter, you write from the top. He's writing the wrong way. He's rushing through his work. He just can't wait to finish. So it can be a very frustrating experience to teach handwriting. So here I am again, Megan Carl Musa, mom to 6 children. I founded all of these websites I graduated from the University of Notre Dame. I have a master's in special education. My superpower is helping to build confidence in little readers and writers, and regardless of ability. So I really love to help special needs children, and I love to make learning fun.
I don't know if you know this, but I work in early intervention full time.
Oh,
So I
cool.
work with infants and toddlers with special needs. So we're kind of on the same.
Great. Yeah,
Yeah. So
definitely. So
yeah,
yeah, here's my family. So that is
yeah.
our fall picture.
You're a busy mom, that's for sure.
I am. And this little one here, Miss Maggie, she sort of inspired this whole curriculum
Uh-huh.
when she was like 3. You know, she just
Uh-huh.
hated it. And now she's 5. So you'll get to see some of her work um, in this presentation. And then I'll also show you some other things because when I was telling her I was going to go live, she's like, "Oh, can I draw you a picture?" So I said, "Yeah,
Ah.
you can definitely draw me a picture." Um, so anyway, to you really just want to start with the fine motor skills. So children are really good these days at swiping on a tablet or on a phone, which are more like large motor things, large movements. But
Mhm.
you want to kind of work on that fine motor skills and picking up smaller things. Um, for instance, a baby ages 8 to 10 months old can pick up a pea. So, you'll see them go and pick up the pea or a carrot or, something really tiny on their plate. And that's
Mhm.
always kind of one of my favorite things to watch for. Um, and so, you want to work on those small things, picking things up.
Mhm.
Some ideas that you can do to practice fine motor skills. You can play with Play-Doh, practice cutting with scissor skills, using a scissors, buttoning clothing, zippers, snaps, building with Legos, using bubble wrap and popping the bubble wrap. Of course, kids love doing that. Using an eyedropper to transfer liquids, even playing video games, with the remote control or like doing
Mhm.
remote control cars, picking up again tiny pieces of food, popcorn, peas, corn, stringing beads on a string, pipe cleaner, straws, just really little
Mhm.
things, or picking up things with tweezers, manipulating your mouse, especially if it has like a little roller ball. As I'm doing that, that's why it's moving the slide.
Uh-huh.
Twisting doorknobs and using keys. So giving the
Yeah.
child keys and trying to help them open the door or open the doorknob. Um, so those are just some fun ideas. I'll let that sit there for a second just so people can see it.
In fine motor skills, it's important before you get to handwriting that their hands are strong enough to hold the pencil the right way, to be able to trace. And so that's why we spend so much time on fine motor development in preschool, is because that is kind of that foundation to pre-writing.
Right. And so,
Yeah,
they can have fun. They'll have fun, obviously, doing
yeah,
all of these things. And, you don't really need to stress about them actually
right,
writing anything.
right,
So
exactly. Okay.
just work on those skills. Yeah.
Right.
Building muscles.
Yeah, yeah.
And even, with swiping too, the large movement, that of
Mhm.
course is very important too, because with the large movement, we'll get into that later, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is teach a child how to hold a pencil correctly. And I've come up with this thing called the Alligator Trick, and you may have heard it. I have like millions of people that come to my website for this trick alone.
Uh-huh.
Um, it is you can to teach a child to use his dominant writing hand to have what you do is you pretend that your hand is an alligator. So you have this alligator and you can show them that the alligator is eating and can open and close his mouth. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the step one, is just kind of showing that you got an alligator there.
Mhm.
Step two, the alligator's really hungry and he wants to eat a pencil, and I don't have a pencil. So we're going to do this with the marker.
Yeah.
Um, you're going to give the alligator his pencil. And so he goes and grabs it, except when he grabs the pencil,
Uh-huh.
he doesn't like the taste of it. And so he kind of goes and he puckers his mouth like this, and he rolls his finger in, and he forms an O, and like that. You can show them like how you do it, and
Yeah, that's a
there we go. Here's me puckering my
yeah.
lips. But so you're gonna do that, and he puckers his lips and holds the pencil. Sorry, my thing keeps
That's
scrolling past it. So in the shape of an O, and you can hold the pencil just like that in
perfect.
his mouth.
Yes.
If all else fails, I would say to invest in some pencil grips. The best ones that I have found are these. They look like this. They're called Pen Again, Twist and Write. And then I've also had a ton of success with this one. It kind of looks like a little gun almost.
Uh-huh.
But it just is really easy to be able to tell how to actually hold the pencil. So it's not actually, neither of these are pencil grips. They're pencil grips are more for like an ergonomic to make it feel better, but these
Hmm.
are more like supports or something to help you know how to hold the pencil.
Right. And for kids those are really helpful for kids that are still developing some of those hand strength, because this is good to get them a little bit more strength, especially having propped in the right position.
Absolutely. And I
Yeah.
actually have
Kids.
a son too that he's 10, and
Mhm.
I still like to give him these instruments because he has terrible handwriting. Because he has special needs, and this really helps him to better hold the pencil and get a
Mhm.
better grip on writing.
And you can get those on Amazon.
These you can get on Amazon. Yep,
Okay, perfect.
yep, yep.
Great.
So they are okay. And then some other tricks that you can use is you can use a smaller writing utensil like a golf pencil, a crayon, a large, thicker crayon, or a triangle. They have crayons that are shaped in like a triangle.
Mhm.
Those kind of also can provide better support, because for some reason with the crayons or the golf pencils, for instance, the children just naturally grip them better because they're smaller instead of having this like long tail, of pencil behind it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and so those are just some things. And then another thing that I always play with writing is just you can make it fun by using different utensils. So, crayons, markers, highlighters, colored
Mhm.
pencils. Um, Children, it's naturally going to be fun when it's a different color.
Right, right. Definitely.
uh,
And I see
um,
there's about seven or there's a bunch of people watching. So if you guys have questions live, pop them in the comments and we'll try to answer them while we're going through this. So feel free to ask questions. We
Definitely.
can go
All
through
right.
this. Yeah.
So, now, in terms of teaching handwriting, if you were to look at this character here, I've got it right here as well. Um, you might not know what that means. I only know what it means because I looked it up. Um, but it means handwriting, actually. But it's a character. It's in a different language. It's completely, foreign language to me. Um, and how would I teach someone how to draw that character? I mean,
Mhm.
I have no idea.
Right.
So that's kind of where it all started for me in learning how to teach handwriting. Was like, I don't, I wouldn't know how to draw this character. And so for a child, it's almost the same thing as saying draw the letter A, because for them, they don't know what a letter A is. It's a complete foreign language to them as well, even though they may speak that language. It's still, you need to describe to them concretely how um to draw that picture of that character or that letter.
Right.
So what you want to do is you want to give every stroke that you're going to teach the child to draw a name. And by giving it a name, it gives the stroke a direction. So, and it also gives them, so if you say, draw a blade of grass, that means to start at the top and draw down.
Mm-hmm.
And it also helps them so they know exactly the direction, they know the name, they know exactly what you want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the start of a beautiful picture when you tell them how to draw. So, um, teaching handwriting, it's an art form, and so you have to look at handwriting as an art form, and you can embrace its creativity.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to teach names of strokes that children will understand. You can teach them, like, for instance, the dot on the I is called a seed, and the grass is a grass, starts at the top and you draw a line down, or the rainbow starts at the bottom and you draw a rainbow over.
Mm-hmm.
And naming the stroke tells them where to start, the direction of travel, and gives them something to draw.
Right.
It gets them excited about drawing because they know, what they're asking them to do, and they know what they're drawing, and it kind of embraces their creativity. So here I
Mm-hmm.
have the seed plus a blade of grass is equal to the letter I. Um, Now, some people ask, why do we start from the bottom with the rainbow? And that's because there are only a few letters that use the rainbow. So we have the M, the N, the H, for instance. And all of those, you're going to start from the bottom when drawing that stroke.
Mm-hmm.
So you're always going to start with the blade of grass, and then you're going to move over with the rainbow
Mm-hmm.
from the bottom.
Right.
So,
That makes sense.
yes. You might be asking, what age can a child learn to draw? So I have here
Okay.
a little drawing of when they could learn. So like a vertical line, they can start right around the age of 10, like 3 years old, and they can learn to write both the upper or the lowercase l and I. And
Mm-hmm.
then here we go, the horizontal line, which I call the airplane. And they can write those letters, say T, L, E, F, H, and I, all capital. They can draw a circle around 3 years. So right around 3 years, they're really starting to be able to draw real pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and also write real letters, whether it's uppercase or lowercase letters. And as I teach reading as well, and you really want to make sure that the children are learning both the uppercase and the lowercase letters, because when they're reading, most of what they're reading are lowercase letters.
Right.
So,
Right.
so I say here, little people can learn to write lowercase letters, and they can learn to draw at an early age. So here they are, and this could be a person, it could be a flower.
Mm-hmm.
There's clouds in the sky, or an airplane and a sun. Um,
Well, the
that's
names
just
are
like
very creative. I can see how the kids would get really excited about that. I'm going to draw an airplane, or I'm going to draw, yeah.
exactly.
It's really
So
cool.
here's a little drawing of that my Maggie did last year. So she was 4 years old. And so I like this picture because it really shows how she actually drew many letters. So I spy an O. I put a U here with the smile because she didn't draw the smile. She actually used a sticker for that. But here's like a Y.
Right.
But you could have like an I maybe just by drawing
Uh-huh.
down. So I don't know. That's just a fun little picture that I have from
Yeah,
her.
incorporating letters is thing. And what I like to tell families is that when we're adults in the real world, we are reading all the time. So it's not just like, oh, here's a worksheet, read the letter Y. It's, oh, there's a sign. We're reading in the grocery store, we're reading labels, we're reading menus.
Absolutely.
It's
Yep.
something you're using all the time. And so even in drawings,
Yeah.
when you're out and about, you can practice letters wherever you are. Even though, I mean, right now we're not out and about, but when everything opens back up, no.
Right, absolutely. And I always say, like with reading
Yeah.
signs, when you're driving about in a car, you can
Yes.
point out, obviously the McDonald's sign has an M on
Right.
it, or
Big M.
but they can read Target just because it has a bullseye. And actually, I
Yeah.
always find fascinating that kids can read the FedEx truck, and because they recognize it, because I don't know if there's an arrow
Uh-huh.
if you look at FedEx, like there's an arrow in the middle, and the kids see the arrow, and that's how they recognize FedEx as a
Oh,
written.
interesting.
Yeah. So next time, if you've never seen the arrow in a FedEx
Yeah.
logo, take
Think about
a look at it and find
that.
that arrow. So,
How funny.
um, but yes, you can definitely read all those signs and point them out to kids. And
Yeah.
another thing we do while driving too is we point out the stop signs, and we always say STOP, stop,
Right.
and point those out.
Great.
Anyway, so here is, another example from our curriculum is we have the kids, they practice drawing, like the rainbow, or this is the rain,
Mhm.
going sideways in the sun. So they get to practice different images. And then, of course, they get to draw their own images. So, like this lovely snowman. And so that is it, I think. Actually, I want to show, let me stop sharing this. This is my book, The Handwriting Patch, handwritingpatch.com. You can find it. It's on Amazon.
Mhm. And I'll put a
And
link to that when this is over. I'll link it in.
yeah, my
You
Facebook
guys
page
can go
is Make
find it.
Handwriting Fun. But yeah,
And this
so
is for, you said for ages like 3 to 6-ish or so, or what
yeah,
was
I would say this particular book, it teages how to form and write the letters. So yeah, you can go anywhere from 3 to, through kindergarten, I would
yeah,
say. We're working on one that's going to have more words for like a first
yeah,
grade level.
right.
But yes,
Yeah.
this will teach you how to draw the strokes and um, yeah, and draw the pictures. Obviously, that's the most important part, drawing those pictures. So
Perfect.
I'm going to stop sharing. And then I wanted to, of course, show you also, this is my Maggie's picture that she drew today for me. She wanted to make sure I shared it with you. So she's 5
Oh,
years old, and yeah, so she had some
yeah.
flowers. I love the smile on the flowers. And my favorite thing that she draws for me now is this little giraffe. So
Oh,
she knows that I love giraffe. And
that's
so
so
she always
sweet.
draws me giraffes. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, perfect. Well, there's a couple people on. If you guys have questions, you can type them in the comments. I'm sure a lot of people will be watching the replay. So if you're watching, let us know and ask questions. And I mean, if we have a bunch of questions, maybe we can come back and answer,
Sure.
in another day or two so you can check them out. But thanks for all that. I appreciate you sharing.
You're welcome. Thanks for
So
having me.
it's
So
so
much fun.
important to make sure that all of this is fun and all of this
Yes,
is through play. And if we can teach our kids to enjoy this when they're young, then as they grow older, they won't be as frustrated. They won't get, they'll actually want to do
absolutely. Like,
handwriting.
yeah. you gotta have fun with it,
Skill.
because
Yeah.
it's definitely, not worth it otherwise.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Don't make kids frustrated, because you're just
Yeah,
frustrated as well. So just
right,
just
right.
have fun.
Exactly. All right.
Thank
Well, thank you. I appreciate all your time.
you. Yes.
And for all of you guys on my page, we'll see you next week with another activity. Have a good day.
Bye. Thanks.